Welcome back to From the Pages of Power Slam, the August 1996 issue. This is issue 25, a silver anniversary of sorts for a magazine that carved out its identity by being sharper, more opinionated, and more plugged into the pulse of wrestling than most of its contemporaries. By the summer of 1996, the business feels different. WCW has detonated the New World Order. The WWF is wobbling under the weight of its own identity crisis. ECW is bleeding into the mainstream consciousness, and Power Slam positions itself right in the middle of it. From the top opens with a tribute to Dick Murdoch. It isn't written like a sterile obituary, it carries weight. Murdoch's legacy is framed through toughness, reputation, and the contradictions that defined his career: a Texan brawler with global mileage, tag team success, a man respected by peers in ways that rarely translate fully onto television. The tone is reflective without becoming sentimental. It sets the issue on serious footing, and then we move into what's going down, and this section is dense. This is 1996 in real time. Titan Sports is taking legal action against WCW. The lawsuit centers around contract tampering allegations, specifically Kevin Nash and Scott Hall jumping ship. This isn't backstage gossip anymore. It's corporate warfare. Meanwhile, WCW's Bash at the Beach has reshaped the industry. Hulk Hogan has turned heel. The New World Order has been formed. Nitro's ratings surge is discussed with clear urgency. Power Slam doesn't treat this as a storyline, it treats it as a shift in business power. The Ultimate Warrior suspension is covered with bluntness, behind the scenes tension and dissatisfaction. No sugarcoating. There's Japanese coverage threaded through the section as well. The tournament results, heavyweight title movement, and the constant reminder that Japan's wrestling scene operates with a different rhythm, a different presentation, and often a different standard of in-ring intensity. Color commentary pivots into ECW. The question is bold. Is Extreme Championship Wrestling the most influential promotion in the sport? The article doesn't just praise the violence, it examines atmosphere, production minimalism, fan investment, the fact that ECW's edge is beginning to influence larger promotions. You can feel the magazine acknowledging that something raw and unpolished is driving conversation across the Atlantic. Q&A with Finn Martin answers reader questions with characteristic bite. There's no diplomatic fluff here. If a reader's premise is flawed, it gets corrected. If a promotion deserves criticism, it receives it. The tone is sharp, but informed. Manners Matt Musings takes on The Undertaker's immense popularity. The attempt here is psychological. Why does a character built on death imagery connect so deeply with mainstream audiences? The column explores mystique, presentation, and the consistency of the character's portrayal. Undertaker isn't flashy, he isn't comedic, he doesn't break tone. That steadiness becomes a strength. Stone Cold Stunner covers King of the Ring. In full, Ahmed Johnson's momentum, Mankind's physical storytelling. Shawn Michaels as WWF World Champion anchoring the event. Owen Hart's credibility. And then Steve Austin winning the tournament and delivering the speech that will be replayed endlessly. The coronation of Stone Cold. Power Slam frames it as a turning point, not just a tournament victory. The promo after the win is given weight. The words land differently. The shift feels real. The centerfold belongs to Shawn Michaels, the current WWF World Champion, posed as the face of the company, but in a landscape that already feels unstable. The photography matters here. Power Slam understood presentation. Japan or bust examines the Road Warriors leaving the United States for Japan. It's positioned less as a farewell and more as a strategic relocation. Japan offers intensity and credibility. The Warriors still command recognition overseas, and Kiss of Death asks what comes next for Mankind following King of the Ring. The piece studies physical punishment, character depth, and sustainability. Mankind's pain is real. His connection with audiences is unusual. The question isn't about talent, it's about durability. This means War dives into Kevin Nash and Scott Hall declaring war on WCW at the Great American Bash. The invasion angle isn't treated like fantasy, it's framed as corporate aggression, bleeding into kayfabe. Nash and Hall are presented as destabilizers. WCW is territory under siege. The tension feels authentic because contracts and lawsuits are involved. Hardcore Heaven 96 coverage brings ECW back into focus. Violent matches, title changes, audience atmosphere described as participatory chaos. This isn't a polished pay-per-view environment, it's sweat, chairs, and emotion. Tiger Feats profiles Eddie Guerrero wrestling as Black Tiger in New Japan Pro Wrestling. The transformation, the technical precision, the ability to shift identity and style depending on geography. Guerrero is portrayed as versatile, disciplined, and globally relevant. The letters section features They Must Be Mad, The Ultimate Loser, and Way to Go. P.S. Reader reaction ranges from praise to outrage, ratings war debates. WWF frustration. WCW celebration. ECW defense. Fans in 1996 are deeply entrenched. House show happenings runs through WWF, WCW, USWA, ECW, All Japan Women, New Japan, dates, finishes, attendance. The touring life of wrestling is alive on the page. Analysis sections dive further into the ratings war. Nitro's dominance isn't brushed aside, it's acknowledged as significant. WWF is scrambling. WCW is confident. And then the back-end texture of the magazine, advertisements and classifieds, remind you this is still a mid-90s print ecosystem. Wrestling schools, advertising, training, merchandise vendors offering VHS tapes, fan clubs, international subscription rates, phone numbers printed boldly for mail-order wrestling culture. This is pre-streaming, pre-social media, pre-instant update. You wanted footage? You mailed for it. See ya! Closes the issue with Sable and Mark Mero and a nod to Cruiserweight champion Rey Mysterio Jr. The Cruiserweight division is gaining traction. Lighter wrestlers moving faster, reshaping match pacing. August 1996 feels combustible. Hogan has crossed a line. Austin has found a voice. ECW is bleeding influence into larger promotions. Japan remains a proving ground. The ratings war has teeth. Power Slam doesn't sound confused. It sounds alert. If you remember this summer, if you felt that shift in real time, drop a comment with the moment that told you wrestling had changed. Share this episode with someone who lived through the NWO explosion or the Austin Rise, and subscribe if you want to keep walking through these pages month by month. See you next time. Farewell from the Empire State.